Alright, YouTube, this is a little update on the Durango here. We're finally making some progress, thank God. Got a rotor installed here, we got our caliper on now. This is the side I was having a bunch of issues with the caliper. I couldn't get the bleeder screw out, so I just said heck with it and just bought new ones. Plus, you know, being an accident that was not my fault anyway, why not go on and do brake work anyway? But got the front brakes just about done, and I'm gonna have to order a steering box yet. I'm just gonna have to wait a little bit for that because I just don't have the money for that right now. But here's the other side here. I went ahead and I replaced the two wheel studs that were bad. I had two of them that were cross-threaded, so I went ahead and I still had the old original hubs that were on this. There was really nothing wrong with them. But the guy that inspected this thing's a clown, I'll just say. And only thing that was wrong, they said the wheel bearing was bad. And well, first they actually said it was the wheel on this side was about ready to fall off, which I was like, what? There ain't no way. So I went to looking at it, and the only thing that was wrong with it is, he said it needed a wheel bearing. No, it didn't. Actually, the only thing that was actually wrong with it was it's got 3 bolts back here. And let's turn our light on here so we can see what I'm talking about. We've got 3 bolts back here. Here's one right here. And then we had one up here, and then there's one on the other side. The one down here was just a little bit loose, so it was letting that hub move just a little bit. And that's the only thing that was wrong with it. It just needed to be tightened up. That was it. But I just went on and put new ones on it anyway, as I heck with it. But that was done last year. And then this year I've put new rotors on it, new calipers, new pads, and tie rods. This thing don't have inner tie rods because it's made into the drag link. They thread into that drag link, believe it or not. But went ahead and did that. It's got a new balancer on the motor, new time chain set. Had to replace the time chain cover because the side of it was busted. And it was right on this side here. Right where that bolt is, it was split. And luckily it wasn't leaking no oil or nothing, but I had to replace the timing cover with a good used one. And them things are through the roof. Them things are ridiculous. They were wanting almost $200 for it, but I finally found a used one on eBay. Couldn't find no pictures of it. You'll have to look back in the videos because people don't know how to sell stuff nowadays. They take like one picture and that's it, and you can't tell what's going on. And, you know, I like to have a 360 degree, you know, angle. Like come back here, like if you're taking pictures, like so you can see it far away. You know, it looks so much better. You know, instead of taking a picture of the headlight like right here. Just say, for example, if I was going to take a picture of that headlight like that, and, well, you can't see this part, you can't see that part. You know, I want to see all the way around it. Making y'all dizzy, apologize. But anyway, so I went on and put new hubs on it, got new rotors on it, calipers, and got rid of that ABS on the front. So now it's just regular old school brakes. So that makes it so much nicer. I gotta come in here and we're gonna take a couple of these brake lines off. We're gonna delete this box out of here completely because we're not gonna run all this junk. We're still gonna have to, I gotta figure out what I gotta do to bypass this so that the speedometer will still work. So for some reason, I don't know why, but I'll check into that. Not sure, but plumbing wise, we'll just get rid of all those lines and then just split off like normal. One goes to the front, one goes to the rear, and then it splits off into the passenger side and the driver's side. Same with the back, but that's where we're at, though. We got our balancer on there. We got our newer water pump. Got a new tensioner I put on it. Showed that kind of already. Got a alternator we put on it. Got rid of that box. Don't know how this will work. I still got it. I kept it. I'm not going to get rid of it. But I took it out from under here, put this one on here. I wanted to get a little bigger air cleaner than that. And I like to have one that was closed, kind of like my Chevelle instead of open like that. That way it keeps water and everything out. So I might come up with something a little bit better than that, like a snorkel kind of style air cleaner. That would work. But so I don't know. I just thought about something. I might be able to run an offset air cleaner base. That's on my 78 F-150. I might have to try that. Might be able to offset that a little bit where if I could do that, that might work. But I was worried about rain coming down and getting up in it. But the weather strip on there, so far hasn't. But anyway, that's where we're at. I went ahead and finally got my power steering pump, and I just bought just the pump. Put the reservoir back on it. Comes with plenty of seals and all that. Make sure to put all them back on. You gotta make sure and pull all these plugs out, because the new one has all them plugs in it. So I pulled them out. There's one in there. This is the old pump, by the way. I just stuck them in how they were on the new one. Well, reman one, I'll say. And there are two on that side. And give you all these extra rings here, I guess, because in case you lose one. And two of these over here go to the pressure side hose. And these two actually go on this pressure valve. There's one in behind here, then there's an O-ring. So, anyway, that's where we're at. So I went ahead and put that on there. I got to make a tool up. So I just set the pulley on there. I got to press this on the rest of the way here. But, so I'm going to get a tool, get a stud, and find some big enough washers that'll go on this pulley here, and find a big enough nut, and that way it'll go on and press that thing up on there, and then that'll be done. Went ahead and blocked it off, that way no trash, nothing gets in it, and I got it capped off on the pressure side too. But there it is. That way no dirt and trash gets into it. But clean the reservoir out really good, and it's pretty good. But I think a lot of people, it seems like, are running transmission fluid in these power steering pumps. That's what a good machinist that I know, he actually told me to do that. You can run just regular transmission fluid in them, and it actually is better, is what he was saying. So that's what I've run. That's what I'm running in my C10 here. I just run the Dextron transmission fluid in it, and I mean, I ain't never had any trouble with it. That's what I'm running my Ford over there, and then my Etzel was the same thing, and that's what I'm gonna run on this too. So actually I had transmission fluid when they quote unquote remanufactured it, so I don't know. But this is where we're at here. So now we're waiting on got our pump now, so now we got to get our pressure line hose, which is sitting down there. I'm not worried about the return, because I mean, we'll just cut the hose off this one here. We'll just replace that hose, and I got hose, but this one we will replace. That's probably what was leaking, not really the pump. But anyway, I went ahead and replaced everything on the front of this motor anyway, and you might as well do it right. So I'm gonna take and order a power steering box and get that pressure side hose there, and get a radiator, and hopefully we'll be done. I hope. I got the fan, I got all that, got the new fan clutch and all that. I've had that for a good while. Can't really do nothing to it until I get them two things and that darn steering box. That thing's about $200. And they ask you too, it's stupid how they ask you, I don't understand it, but they ask you with snowplow package or without snowplow package. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? So I guess after looking at them enough and everything, trying to compare pictures and everything, evidently this shaft from this point down is the same, but then it's got like a tit on it, kind of, I guess you would call it. So it sticks out a little bit, kind of like a tit. I don't know how to describe it. It don't stick out that much, but it's about like that long on there, and so that's the only thing I can figure. So mine says, everything I found out so far, you know, I'll do some more research on it here. It says with, this is the box of need, so this must be with it. And without it must be the one that's got that little tip on the end. So I don't know. But that's what I'm waiting on. That darn thing's about 200 bucks. I already got my pitman arm and all. Went ahead and got this thing cleaned out. It's full gas. So it's ready to go. So I went ahead and fill my jugs up when I fill my truck up. Get this thing full gas. That way when it's ready, it'll be ready. But lost my registration card. I gotta find out. I don't know what happened to that, but clean this thing out and all cleaned up. I still gotta clean the seats and all, but clean everything out. There's our idler arm and our pitman arm. And there's our pitman arm right down there. And this is our idler arm here. But these holes are too small. Well, this one is actually. I might just run a drill bit in it and drill it out because I'm tired of waiting. I was going to send it back and get a different one, but it won't bulk up. It's supposed to bulk up right there. So I'm going to take and go up there and see if they'll switch it out. You can clearly see the difference between the two. This is the original. There's the holes, and then there's our new one. So you can clearly see that bottom one is way bigger. Oh yeah, you can definitely see it there. So top one's fine, but this bottom one down here, might have to, I don't know, I might drill it out a little bit or something, but I got it. Everything else is the same. So, I don't know. Let me get this darn thing on the road because I'm tired of waiting around on it. But yeah, everything else is the same. All bent the same and all. So, anyway, okay, it's the same, not bent. But I hope this thing, I can get this thing straightened out. I gotta take that back and switch that out for the other one because I really don't want to drill it, but I don't know. Our pitman arm is right here. We have that too. There's that. And this one should be the same. So we got our pitman arm right here. Yeah, they're the same. Yep. That all looks good. Let me just take it out of the package. Alright, so there's our new one right there. So, looks pretty good. So, we got all that good stuff. So now it's just getting that old steering box. And steering box is about 200 bucks. I've seen as high as 250, but I'm hoping I ain't got to pay that crazy amount. But I ain't made my mind up yet if I'm going to get it locally or just order it off the internet. That was all kit. The idler arm, the tie rods, the pitman arm, all that stuff was in a kit. The ball joints. I bought that all back in March and just never put it on. I'm glad I didn't because when I had the accident, it would have been a complete waste. But that's about 200 for that steering box there. And then I think it's, I don't know, I want to say 20, maybe 30 at most for that pressure hose. That's overestimating really. But then we're looking at about 100 and about maybe 100, 120. Now I'll take it back. Now they went up a little bit more. It might be about 130, 140 now for that darn radiator. And it asks you too, with or without transmission oil cooler. This one don't have it. Just got the stupid oil cooler on the front of it. And to me, it's weird how they did it because they got it tied in. It goes through the radiator and it cools it off, and then it turns around and cools it off again through that external cooler, so it cools it off twice. So I guess it keeps from getting really overheated, but this one didn't have it. But it'd be mounted on the front if it did. Yep. I'm glad it don't, because they want almost 40, 50 bucks more for that, and it ain't worth it really. You could bypass that, you don't need that. But kind of like the power steering quote unquote cooling there. I just did away with it used to be on the side of the block here. I just pulled it off. I mean, I can put it back on if I have to, but I just did away with it for now because ain't really no point in really having it. This truck don't have it. I mean, I've never had no issues, so I cleared the engine bay up a little bit and got rid of that. And plus, it didn't have 4 lines. I can only have 2 now, so that makes it nice. I ain't gotta replace 4 of them all at one time, just do 2 like normal. But I can always add it back on, and I actually might save that too. I don't know, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But you know, I gotta get to the radiator, power steering box, because that's gonna kill me trying to get that thing. And then hopefully we'll have it all. Switch out that darn alarm. Switch it out. Steering box, radiator. And of course, I forget once again what the other thing was. Oh well. It'll come to me later. But I gotta get later on, once I get it on the road again, I got everything for the back brakes here. I got all the hardware, I got everything. Wheel cylinders, everything. We're replacing all the hydraulic stuff on these brakes. But got the wheel cylinders. If you look back in the previous video, there's the wheel cylinders. Got both sides for that. Got the hardware kits for it, for both sides, and the adjuster. This is the same thing in this box here, except this is the opposite side. And we got a spring kit in here. So I got everything except for drums and shoes to redo the back brakes, which I will get them as well. And I might take it a step deeper. I mean, might as well. I done went this far ahead and, you know, pretty much darn near replaced everything on the front end. Just about, except for the bushings and the shocks, which they'll get replaced eventually too. But I think I might take it a step further and go on and replace them axle seals too. Go on and replace them. That way I ain't got to fool with them. I don't care if they're leaking or not, but that way they'll be done. I might put new bearings in the back too. The way I'll have bearings, all new bearings around all 4 corners. I mean, they're not that hard to do. There ain't nothing to it. They're easy as heck to replace. I wish I would have done on this truck. I put new rear end seals on the back, well, axle seals, and I replaced the bearings. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, you know, but I just, you know, halfway doing stuff. Better just, I mean, spend a couple dollars more and do it all one time. That way it's done. But those actually blowed out. Because what happened is mud divers and everything got in that little vent tube that goes above the rear end. It's got a little hose. And it couldn't breathe. And when you're driving it, it blowed the seals out. Literally. I was kind of scared that it done ruin the axle housing. Because I was scared that seal would, you know,